Welcome to Camp for All. We're so glad to see you. My name is Pat Sorrells. I'm the president and CEO of Camp for All, and I have the best job in the whole world.
Hey campers, my name is Kurt Bedezwa, and I'm the camp director at Camp for All, and actually, I have the best job ever.
No, I do.
No, really, it's me.
No, it's me.
I have the best job, really. Okay.
Well, okay. But we're glad you're here because our camp is closed right now. It's so sad because it's so beautiful, so green. All the activities are just waiting for our campers. But we're going to come to you virtually this time. So we hope you have a lot of fun. Camp for All is unique in that it is a barrier-free camp. Not just accessible, but barrier-free. We are barrier-free in our food services, in our facilities, our sidewalks, our bathrooms, you name it. Also, we are barrier-free in our activities. So Kurt, why don't you talk about that?
So, because camp isn't open and you can't come here right now, that doesn't mean that we can't do activities. So these virtual activities, you're going to get to make some arts and crafts, learn about barnyard animals, see some horses, maybe even learn how to make an instrument. We're so excited about the things that you're going to get to do. Hey campers, next we're going to head out to the ranch and meet ranch supervisor Mike Ham, and he's going to introduce us to some of the 23 horses that call Camp for All home.
Good morning guys, welcome to the ranch at Camp for All. I'm Mike, by the way, the ones that don't know me. When y'all come down to ride, normally that's all y'all do is ride horses, or you see the small animals, okay? That's all you get to do. Today we're going to show you some behind the scene things that we do to take care of our ranch and our horses every day. Number one, we're going to show you what we feed our horses and move on to tacking up our horses and making sure our horses are ready for y'all to go whenever time you're here. And then we'll probably take a ride. Let's head over and start feeding now. All right campers, here we are at the pen, and we're at the pen of my favorite 4 horses. I don't know if y'all know this, but this is Charlie, Butterbean, Mr. Bevo, and Mr. Booger, our famous one-eye horse. But we're here to feed these 4 horses this morning and go from there. Charles, did you know is our lead horse? I want y'all to take a look more at Charlie. This time of season, he starts what I could say changing colors. But really what he's doing, he's shedding. But you can see that he's becoming real white and then staying dirty blonde. I call him my magical horse. He's does this every year. A lot of times y'all never get to see it because in certain times certain camps are not here. And then y'all just see him one color. But he's kind of like a magical horse. If y'all watch Butterbean when I'm feeding him, he'll sit there with one leg up the whole time. We call him our praying horse. That's the whole time he eats. He will be sitting there doing that. Calm down, calm down. I'm here. There you go. Take a look at it. He sits there. He either goes back from one leg to the other leg. He's not really praying, guys. Basically, that's his relaxed mode. He's relaxing. He's there. He's content. He's ready to eat. Booger, I'm coming. But the funny thing about it, he doesn't do it all the time. It's just when he eats. And y'all half time will not ever see it. Booger, come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. There you go, buddy. Yeah. All right, we moved on to our next pen. We have a total of 5 different pens that we feed. Total of 22 horses. But this is my rambunctious pen, as I call it. This is Mr. Rattler, Mr. Ben, his real full name is Benjamin, Mr. Monty, I'm not going to tell you his full name because it's long and hard, and then Mr. Chance at the end. Cool thing about Monty is he has one brown eye and one blue eye. You do not see that much very often in horses. We had one other horse that had one eye that was half brown and half blue. So every time we tack him up, we called him. We had to do the Zane dance. He always had it because he would sometimes turn and try to bite you. So every time you cinch up, you would have to kind of move with the flow. You know what I mean? I don't like getting bit. So this is Mr. Chance. Sometimes Mr. Chance is here and sometimes he's not. And Mr. Benjamin. Now Ben is one of my favorite horses. You cannot tell me that horse is not a beautiful horse. That's probably one of the most beautiful horses in God's creation. But he's great. And Monty. But you see who's in charge. Who's actually in charge is Rattler. He's the alpha male, and then it kind of goes down. When you feed, you'll notice each horse has their place. And there's a reason why each horse has their place. Because that's how they fall into their group, their clique. Each day, each horse gets about 3 pounds of feed a day. Now, that sometimes varies, that sometimes it goes down and sometimes it goes up. It all depends on the type of year we're having. It also depends on the type of the horse we have. Some horses do not hold weight very well, and we have to feed them a little bit more. Some horses hold weight very well, and we have to cut them back. So, it all depends on that horse right there. Hey campers, how you doing? It's Mike here again. We're fixing to take our horses for a ride during the summer and the spring and the fall. Y'all are here all the time riding these horses. So to make sure these horses are staying in tune, to make sure they're ready for you when you come back, we're taking these horses out for a ride just about every day. And that's all 23 horses. That's just not the ones you see coming by. Please, camper, I would love to know this, and I know my staff will love to know this. Please tell me your favorite horse. Put it in comments, and we can focus. I can try to focus on that and let you know about what's going on with him. Here they all go.
Hey, did y'all have fun at the ranch? Mike is wonderful with those horses. And don't those horses have different personalities? We think people do. Horses are even better. So I'm glad you had a good time at the ranch. Our ranch at Camp for All is barrier-free, which means everybody can ride. We have special saddles. Everybody gets on the horse from a ramp. That narrows the playing field, number one, but it also is easier on our horses. Did you know that? So it's really important for everybody to be able to ride. And there's something about horses. They have a sixth sense when it comes to relating to people. It's just amazing what can happen on a horse.
Howdy guys, my name is B. I work at the ranch at Camp for All. And so here in a little bit we're going to see some different animals, like some chickens, some rabbits, some miniature horses, some donkeys. So we really miss y'all being out here, but I hope getting to learn more about these little animals will be fun for y'all. So let's go. Howdy. So this is Duke. He's a Texas Longhorn steer. Longhorns came from Spain and with the Spanish conquistadors in the late 1400s. And they were let loose in Mexico and migrated up through the north into Texas, Colorado, all that way. Then when the settlers came into Texas, the wild cattle mixed in with the domesticated cattle, and that's how we get the color and more of the horn growth that you see on this little guy right here. So Texas was the fastest state to economically recover after the Civil War because of the Longhorns. The Longhorns they would drive them up the trails, like you've heard the Chisholm Trail and all those, up to the north to feed them because they needed beef. Then in the 1920s, there was only about 500 longhorns left in the world. So thanks to the families of the Wrights, Yates, Peeler, Phillips, and Wichita Wildlife Refuge, they saved the longhorns, and we can enjoy these precious animals today. All right, so fun facts about longhorns is the way you can tell their age is on their horns here. So you'll see there'll be like an indentation of a ring, and so there'll be, there'll be 2 rings on this side and 2 rings on that side. That means he's 4, or in his case he's 3. So you'd have 1 ring and then 2 rings on that side, and then the other ring will just come in over age. And if you can guess, a cow's favorite spot to get scratched is right here on their dewlap. That is their favorite spot to get scratched. Longhorns have a different kind of dewlap. Theirs is a little bit thicker with other breeds, just because so they can withstand like the mesquite thorns and stuff. Other breeds like Brahmas and other breeds like that have that too, but Longhorns have a little bit of a thicker one. And then the other way you can tell their age is by their teeth. So if Duke will show us, if they got nice bright white teeth, they're a little bit younger. If they start losing some teeth, they're a little bit older. Alright, so we just showed y'all the largest barnyard animal we have. Now we're going to show you the smallest. But to do that, we're going to have the smallest ranch staff member show y'all. So this is Miriam.
Hi guys, I'm Miriam. I work down here at the ranch. In my hands is Blue. He is a Netherland dwarf bunny. He is not the smallest, but one of the smallest rabbits in the whole world. They don't get really big. He is fully grown, if you can see the size of him. Another fact about him is when he was born, he was blue. That's why his name is Blue. But he is actually a dark brown and a lighter brown. He's mixed together. Netherland dwarf bunnies don't live very long. They get up to about 6 to 8, and that is actually very old for a rabbit.
Alright, I hope y'all enjoyed learning about the largest barnyard animal we have and the smallest.
Hi, did you know that meant yes in Japanese? So let's go do origami with Alice.
Hey everybody, I'm Alice. I am a program supervisor here at Camp for All, and today I'm going to show you a talent that I learned this week that I hope that you can do along with me. It's a craft. It is the art of Japanese paper folding, which is called origami. So you need paper, printer paper, like really thin printer paper. If you don't have origami paper, works best. This is thin, this is kind of thick. Making is a crane. All right, so we have another rectangular sheet of paper that we're going to turn into a square. So you're going to fold it until you're going to make like the triangle until the 2 sides meet. And you're going to crease that. And then fold the edge that you're not going to end up using over to make your guideline for cutting. So we're going to cut along this line. Okay. All right, so conveniently enough, the very first fold that you need to make is a triangle fold from top to bottom, which is what we did to cut the paper. So you're going to make a big triangle like this. And you're not going to unfold this time. This one's a little bit less about creases and more about like keeping the folds the way that they are. So we have a big triangle in front of us. So now you're going to take the right corner of the triangle over to the left corner of the triangle to make a smaller triangle. Okay, so now we're going to take this flap and fold it back kind of halfway way so that way it's sticking, like you have half of it here and half of it sticking up. And what you're going to do, this is a little bit complicated, but you're going to take this part of the triangle and you have this like flap open. I'm going to do it towards you. So you have this flap open kind of towards you. So you're going to open that more. So that way you can take this corner and bring it to that corner down here. So you have a shape that looks like this. And then you're going to turn it over and you're going to do the exact same thing with the other side. So you're going to take this corner and fold it, or fold it up until it's lined up like this, and then you're going to open up the pocket. And fold it down until it meets the bottom. So yeah, so now you have a square shape that has like two little flats on either side. I'm going to face it backward. So now you're going to take the top flap on the right and you're going to fold it so that way this long edge lines up with the center piece. Like this. Oh, we're doing some folding and unfolding again. All right, so you're going to give that a nice little crease. And then you're going to unfold it. So you've made a line like that. I don't know, this part always reminds me of a plate. And then you're going to take the other side. You're going to take the left-hand corner of the top flap. And you're going to pull it so that way the bottom left side lines up with the center line. And you're going to make a back crease. And then you're going to unfold it. We're going to pretend that there's an invisible line going from the creases, the tops of the creases that you just made. And you're going to take the top flap and you're going to fold it along that invisible line. You're going to crease that nice and good. And you're going to unfold it. Okay, so now you want to keep this here, but you've made a lot of like little creases. So you're going to take the top part of your paper. I'm going to face this towards you again. And we're going to lift and kind of push these sides in where we've made all these creases. Lift and push. Get a shape like this. And you're going to just flatten that out. Perfect. So now it looks like this. And you're going to turn it over. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to take your left hand point and you're going to, or right hand point, and you're going to bring the side to the center. And you're going to crease it, just like before. And you're going to undo it. And then you're going to do the same thing with this one. You're going to bring it to the center line and give it a nice crease. And unfold it. And then you're going to take the top part again. You're going to crease it this way. And unfold it. And then we're going to do the exact same thing that we did before, where we just take this top flap up. And we're going to push until everything kind of turns inside out. So that way you have something that looks like this. All right, I'm going to face it back with me now. All right, so that is called a petal fold, and that part is done. We're going to start folding the neck and the tail now of the bird. So you're going to take the right hand point where like it's not as long with one of these guys, and you're going to bring that so that way the bottom right edge lines up with the middle. fold that over. Origami paper is much thinner than regular paper, which makes this a little bit challenging, but that's okay. So you're going to leave that fold. So we folded that. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side, where you're going to take the left-hand point and you're going to make the bottom left-hand side line up with the center line. And you're going to crease that down and keep it folded. So right now it looks like this. And you're going to flip it over. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to take the right hand corner and you're going to make the lower right edge line up with the center line. Again, you're going to get this nice crease. And then the left edge, you're going to fold so that way it lines up with the center line. And you're going to give that a nice crease. And now you have something that looks like this. So now we need to make some legs and neck. So you're going to take the right hand, this part, and not all the way up, but like kind of, if you pretend that there's a line below, like you notice that there are like creases here, about a centimeter below that, you're going to pretend that there's a line and you're going to take this, and you're going to fold it up, so that way it kind of like, see how it's parallel to this line? These two lines are next to each other, so you're going to kind of make that happen. You're going to crease it really well and unfold it, and then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Crease it really well, and unfold it. Now we're going to turn it over, and on those same creases, we're going to fold them up again, so that way the crease exists on both sides. Crease that really well, and unfold it. And crease this one really well, and unfold it. Okay, so now we need to make an inside reverse fold along what we just did. So along those creases, this flap kind of opens up, and you're going to bring the bottom up, and they should naturally fold along the creases that you just made. And they'll fold along the center as well. Yeah, so you now have a little inside fold. And then you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So you're going to open this up and start pushing this long edge up. It should flip up naturally because of the creases that you made. And you're going to fold that. So now we're going to fold the head, and it's going to be another inside fold. So you're going to crease this well, like this. And then turn it around, then take it up, and then you're going to turn it around, and you're going to crease it well the other way. And it's an inside fold, so that means that you're going to open up the flap again, and you're going to push it forward, and that should make the head. And then you can take the wings and spread them out a little bit. This is kind of a base, so you can spread this out a little bit. And here you go. You have paper crane. Just having its tail and its wings.
Wow, that was a lot of activity. I'm worn out. I'm also really hungry. Let's go to the camper kitchen with Abby. She's going to cook us some lunch.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Camp for All Teaching Kitchen. My name is Abby, and today we are going to be making lasagna roll-ups. So we're going to go over all of our ingredients and supplies that you need if you want to cook along with me or do this later. So our ingredients, we have spinach. I only have one zucchini today because I've already done some, but I put 6 for the recipe. It's just however many you want. olive oil, salt, pepper, red pepper flakes, an egg. We have Parmesan and mozzarella cheese, lasagna noodles if you're not going to be using zucchini. So zucchini is our gluten-free option, or if you just want a little bit of a healthier option. Ricotta cheese and any kind of marinara sauce is fine. As far as, and we also have onion and garlic, which I chopped up beforehand just to save a little bit of time today. It smells pretty good in here. But we would need a cutting board and a knife. And remember, again, if you're going to be using a knife, to make sure that you have an adult with you or ask permission. This gadget is called a mandolin, which you don't need if you're going to be using the lasagna noodles, but you would need if you're going to use the zucchini. We have our measuring cup. Today we just have a 1 cup and some of our tablespoon and teaspoon measurements. Some spoons that we'll use when we put everything together. A strainer, a couple different baking dishes just because I'm going to be doing both options today, and then a mixing bowl. We also have on our stove over here a skillet and a spatula, along with a pot that already has some boiling water ready to go for our noodles. But before we get started, I'm going to wash my hands because that is super important. All right. So now that we have our hands washed, we are going to start by putting some of these noodles into the boiling water. So this is just water. I did put a little bit of salt in there, but you don't necessarily need that. And I'm just gonna do about half of these noodles and place them right into the water. As they get, as they start cooking, they'll kind of sink down, but we can watch them as we do some of this other stuff today. So that is what you'll do if you're gonna be using the noodles. If you're going to be using the zucchini, then we will need to make our noodles out of the zucchini. So we're gonna cut off, oh, we have to preheat the oven. We gotta do that. So we're gonna go over here and we're gonna preheat our oven to 350, which is already on, perfect. So we'll just have that going in the back. Okay, so back to our zucchini. We're gonna just cut off the ends here because we don't need them. And then to use this mandolin, if you don't have one of these, a potato peeler works really great, or you could use a knife. This just helps because it gets all of the zucchini to be the same length and width. So we are going to just push pressure down and scrape this right across the blade. Okay, that doesn't work. We're gonna pop this off and we're gonna use it like a cheese grater. We are just going to make some noodles. So as you can see, they just come out like flat strips, and that is all that we're really looking for. So you would do this to, like I said, about 6 zucchinis. If you didn't want to do that many, you could do a little bit less, but 6 should be about how much you need for the filling that we're gonna make today. You can use these ends, but I'm gonna throw them out for today. And what you're gonna do with these is you're gonna take a baking sheet that is lined with paper towel, and you're just gonna lay them out to get some of the extra moisture out of the zucchini. So we will do this. Grab another paper towel. We'll put a few on top. So you will just have those kind of sitting off to the side, or your noodles boiling, whichever option you want to do. You can do both if you want. So our noodles have kind of fallen in, but we're gonna make sure we push the edges into the water so it all cooks pretty evenly. All right, so now that we have that going, excuse me, choked a little bit. Okay, so now that we have that going, we're gonna make some of the inside of it. So for this part, we are going to need ricotta cheese. The recipe calls for 2 cups of ricotta. This is 15 ounces, which is just a little bit shy of 2 cups. We are gonna make that work for today. We will put all of that in our bowl. Perfect. And then we are going to need to add, let's see, our egg. I'm gonna crack this egg in this measuring cup so that if there's any shell that gets in there, I can pick it out before, which of course I did. I can get the shell out before I put it into the mixture. Maybe I can't see. Okay, perfect. Shell free. So we'll put our egg in there, and then we are going to need a half a cup of Parmesan and then a little bit of salt and pepper. All right, we're gonna eyeball a half cup because I didn't grab one of those. Looks good. Also, everybody loves cheese, so if there's more, that's okay.
Big cheese girl.
Yes, big cheese girl. The salt and pepper is just to taste. So I'm gonna pour a little bit of salt in my hand here. I'm not gonna do too much. So we'll start with that. And for the pepper, I'm just gonna do a little bit of pepper. So pretty straightforward, and we'll just mix all of this together. So this is gonna go inside of our noodles once they're cooked and or dried out a little bit if you're doing the zucchini. So we'll just mix this together. Perfect. Okay, so that is our part of our stuffing. And the next part we're gonna do is back over here on the stove. So we're gonna turn this part on. There we go. And we're gonna put a little bit of olive oil into this pan here. We don't need much, but just a bit to kind of coat the bottom. And we are gonna add in our onion and garlic. So you need about a half of an onion. This was a little more than that. So I'm not gonna use all of it. And then 3 cloves of garlic. So I'm going to, again, not use all of this. This was about 5 cloves. But if you really like garlic, add some more. So we're just gonna let this kind of cook and soften a bit. And see how our noodles are doing. All right, so these noodles aren't quite done yet. They should go about 10 minutes. So we can get some other stuff prepped while that waits. We're gonna need to add the spinach to the skillet to wilt it down as we go. So I'm gonna add a little bit right now and just keep adding more as time goes on. So we can't fit all of this in the skillet right now. This is 10 ounces of spinach, which looks like a lot when it's like this, but it will cook down to look like it's a lot less. So just kind of put that in there, and I'll keep turning around and checking on this. Awesome. So we are gonna get our dishes ready now. So for this part, again, I'm gonna do 2 separate dishes just because I'm gonna be doing one with zucchini and one with the noodles, just so that we have a gluten-free option as well. So for this, we're gonna use our sauce. It doesn't need to be warmed up because we're gonna bake it, but we're gonna just take a little bit of this and we're gonna put just a little bit on the bottom of these pans so that our noodles don't stick to it. All right, so again, there doesn't really need to be a whole lot. We're just gonna put a little bit on the bottom so our noodles don't stick. I just heard our oven is preheated. That's good. All right, we're gonna check on this stuff over here. I don't know if you can hear it on the camera, but it's starting to sizzle. Some sound effects. All right. So again, we're just letting some of this cook down. The spinach is cooking down a little bit. So I'm gonna add some more, and I'm gonna cover it with a makeshift lid to help some of that spinach wilt down. So we'll check it in a minute. And then, where's the spoon go? Oh, I used both my spoons. Okay, I'm getting another spoon. Okay, I'm gonna just keep checking these noodles. All right, I'm gonna let them go a little bit longer. But this is kind of the majority of the prep work right now. So at this point in time, there's a little bit of waiting that's gonna happen. We have to get the spinach wilted down. We have to let those onions and garlic kind of cook. But the next part is we're gonna strain the noodles. So I'm just gonna put our strainer in the sink and get that ready. Oh, it's starting to wilt. Yep. Perfect. So you can see the spinach that's kind of on the bottom here is starting to wilt, which is exactly what we want. I'm going to just kind of rotate it so everything is a little more compact. We're going to add some more. I'm going to add the last of it actually. Perfect. So now all of our spinach is in there. And at this time, I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper again. So again, I'm just going to pour a little bit of this into my hand and not use a whole lot. For our pepper, if you want to measure it out, you can. But I like to be a little bit risky. So salt and pepper, and I'm also going to add some crushed red pepper flakes. These are a little bit spicy, so I'm not going to add too much, but if you don't want to add them at home, you definitely don't have to. All right, we're going to add our seasonings. And we're going to put this back on and let that cook for a little bit. And how do I keep losing this one? Okay. Wow. I make a mess when I cook, and sometimes I lose track of where everything is, so that's okay if that happens. All right, so our noodles seem like they're pretty cooked at this point, so I'm going to strain them. I'm going to turn this burner off. And for this part, if you guys are at home, I would also ask for an adult because the pan is probably pretty heavy. But we're just going to bring it over to our sink and carefully pour our noodles in. So hopefully all of our noodles made it into the strainer. So steamy glasses. All right, so then we have our cooked noodles, which we are just going to bring back over to our working space here. These sometimes get stuck to each other, so if you want, you can kind of spread them out a little bit, but if they get stuck, you can just pull them apart. They're pretty hot, so I'm not gonna touch them. Sensitive hands. Okay, we're gonna check out our spinach. Very hot stuff, okay? All right. Ooh, it's done. Perfect. So this looks pretty good. Everything is wilted down, so we're just going to kind of mix it all together. So again, that whole container of spinach wilted down to just this little bit. So this is about 10 ounces. If you want to use frozen, you definitely can. You don't have to wilt it then. All right, so we're gonna take this off the heat as well. Just make sure our burners are off. All right, so now that we have our spinach and our onions and garlic all cooked, we are gonna add this to the ricotta mixture. So again, this is what we did earlier with our ricotta and our egg and cheese. And we are just going to dump this right in.
I'm so hungry.
Give me like 30 more minutes. Then we'll have lunch. All right. So now that we have that in there, we're just gonna mix it all together. If you want, you can leave it separate and put all of these pieces together separately, but I'm gonna save us a little time by mixing it. All right, so this is gonna be our filling for these lasagna roll-ups. So now comes the fun part. So I'm gonna move these dishes just up here, and we're gonna start with our noodles. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna use the cutting board just so I don't have to wipe down the counter. But we are gonna take our noodle and we're gonna just lay it out, and we're gonna put a little bit of this ricotta and spinach mixture, and we're just gonna spread it on the noodle like so. So you don't have to use too much, but we do have quite a bit of filling. So you just wanna kinda like ration it out. And then we're gonna add a little bit of sauce on here. And then we're gonna roll it up. So this part, you wanna kind of be gentle. If you squeeze too hard, all of the filling is gonna come out. But you're just gonna roll it up like a little pinwheel. And then we're gonna set it in our dish. I wanna stand mine up because I think they look pretty, but you can lay them down if you want. It's all gonna taste the same in the end. So we would just do this with all of our noodles. If you want, you can also add meat to this recipe. So you could cook up some meat and either add it to the sauce or lay it on here as we're putting these together. Alice is a vegetarian and I'm not a big fan of Italian sausage, so I didn't do meat in these today. But you can do whatever you want at home. That's the beauty of cooking. All right. So this is how we would do our noodles. If you were gonna do the gluten-free option, we would use our zucchini noodles. I've been touching the noodles, which has gluten in it, so I'm gonna wash my hands before I touch the zucchini, just so I'm not cross-contaminating if someone can't have gluten.
Jacob, are you hungry?
Oh, yeah.
Jacob, are you gonna eat the gluten or the zucchini?
Both.
That's right. All right, so then for our zucchini noodles, we're gonna do the same exact process that we were just doing, but with our zucchini. So these are a little bit smaller, so you're probably not gonna be able to fit as much on each noodle, but that is okay. So again, we're just gonna put a little bit of everything on here, and we're gonna roll these up. Wow, look at that. All right, so they look pretty similar. And this is just what you're gonna do with all of your ingredients. So you'll use all of your zucchini noodles or all of your gluten-full noodles, and you will do this until you have your whole pan ready. If you want to, you can add this mozzarella cheese. I'm gonna sprinkle on top, but if you want to get a little bit wild, which we do today, open this. So you can put a little cheese on here if you want. You don't have to. Again, the fun thing about this is you can kind of put whatever you want in it. You can add meat, cheese, whatever. So we'll just do that for all of our ingredients. And then at the very end, once you have your dishes completely full with your noodles, all stuffed and ready to go, you're gonna take the other half cup of Parmesan that we haven't used yet, and the rest of the 2 cups of mozzarella, and you're gonna sprinkle it right on top. And then you are gonna put it in the oven. So we preheated our oven at the very beginning to 350 degrees. So you're gonna put it in there and it's gonna cook for about 20 minutes. So you'll set your timer and you'll watch it. The cheese will start bubbling up and everything is gonna cook together. And that is how you make lasagna roll-ups. So there's not a whole lot else to show. I'm gonna roll the rest of these and we'll cook them up. And again, I'll post the final results in the comments. But if you guys make it at home, I would love to see your results as well. So if anybody does it, please post a picture and tell me how it turned out. But that is cooking today for me, folks. So thanks so much, and I'll see you next week.
Wow, molto buono, Abby. That was delicious. I don't want to eat another thing all day. The lasagna was unbelievable, and thank you for doing that for us. Did you notice, campers, that she did 2 versions of the same recipe? She did one that was gluten-free because we have people in this world that can't have gluten. It is harmful to their systems, and so they need to learn to cook really good food but doesn't have gluten. It's no big deal. And then there's those that can have the gluten and they have their really good food as well. So this points out something that we do at Camp for All, another example of barrier-free. So there's something you need to know about Camp for All too. It's another example of how we are barrier-free. Our kitchen can meet almost any kind of dietary issue there is. So you go through the line and you are handed your tray just like everybody else. You're not singled out as being different. But our record is 63 different special needs diets for 1 week for 3 meals a day. Now that's our current record. We'll see what happens in the coming years.
Well, it looks like we've come to the end of our camp day again. So let's join Alice in the goodbye song. See you next week. Goodbye.
Let's sing a little goodbye song. Are you ready? I'm ready. Here we go. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I'd like to hold it in my arms and keep it company. I'd like to see the world for once, all standing hand in hand, and hear them echo through the hills for peace throughout the land. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I'd like to hold it in my arms and keep it company. I'd like to build the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves. Last one. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I'd like to hold it in my arms and keep it company.
Bye, guys.
Adios.
Bye.
See you later, alligator.